Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second edition of the Martian Turtle and Associates Top 20. We are doing this after event 1, so we've seen one full event of each region. This is what I like to call the overreaction rankings, as everyone is finally not basing their rankings on paper and more based on what we've seen on the pitch. So, without me stalling any longer, let's get into number 20. At number 20, we have Alcadzia, which is a new team to the rankings this week. The only person who had them ranked was actually Mythalieon, with them ranked at 16th. All the rest of the three of us had them unranked. However, due to Mythalieon having them at 16, they sneak in at the number 20 spot. Also new to the rankings this week is number 19, the Healthy Chiefs. This is Razir's Hunter Fiber with Coach LBP. They had an average ranking of 19.25, with myself having them ranked at 17, Mythalieon at 20, and Dolphin at 19. Up 2 spots from last week is Gen G Mobile One Racing. They have an average ranking of 19 despite being number 18 on our list. I had them at 19, while CaptainDolphin had them at 20. Belleair had them all the way up at 16, and Mythalieon still has them unranked. Our third and final new entry from this week is 100% ranked at number 17. This is Luis P. Acro and Rezi. These guys are coming off a top 4 finish in Europe, and all 4 of us had them ranked. Myself had them at 14, while the rest of the 3 had them ranked at 17. Tied at number 15 is 9 Lives, which is the official name for the Hoxer Chicago Kofor roster. These guys are up 2 spots from last week. They have an average ranking of 15.5. I had them at 18, while Mythalieon had them at 14. CaptainDolphin and Belleair both had them at 15. Tied with 9 Lives for number 15 is Geeky. These guys are down 6 spots from last week after a slightly disappointing performance in the first EU event. I had them the second highest rank with 15. Belleair had them up at 12. Mythalieon had them down at 19, while CaptainDolphin had them at 16. So a lot of variety with this one. At number 14, with no movement from last week, is Wildcard Gaming with Banana Head Fever, Torzos, and Jimma. These guys officially announced Jimma as a coach, which is a change from the last rankings that we did. 3 of us had them at 13, that being myself, Mythalieon, and Dolphin, while Belleair had them down at 18. Also with no movement from last week is Dignitas. These guys have an average ranking of 13.75 now. So I had them ranked at 16, Mythalieon at 15, Dolphin at 14, and Belleair up at 10. Number 12 is our highest mover upwards on this list, and that is Space Station Gaming. You have Frosty, Scribbles, Reveal, and Xpere. They had an average ranking of 11.25, which is quite the jump from the 13th ranked team. 3 of us had them at number 11, and CaptainDolphin is the odd man out here with having them at 12. Down 1 spot at number 11 is Twisted Minds. These guys officially announced Senzo since the last time we did these rankings. Myself, Mythalieon, and CaptainDolphin all maintained our 10th ranking, while Belleair dropped them 1 spot to number 13. This gives them an average ranking of 10.75. Moving into our top 10, we have our first South American team on this list. That's Team Secret, moving up 2 spots from last week. They had an average ranking of 10.5, with myself having them ranked at 9, Mythalieon at 8, while CaptainDolphin had them at 11 and Belleair had them at 14. At number 9, with the logo change, this is Complexity Gaming. They're up 2 spots from last week as well. They had an average ranking of 10, with myself and Mythalieon having them at 12, CaptainDolphin having them at 7, and Belleair at 9. Up 1 spot from last week and creating our second tie of this list is the Gentlemates Alpine roster. This is Seiko, Redosin, and Juicy. They are an average ranking of 7.75, with myself and Belleair having them at 7, Dolphin having them at 8, and Mythalieon at 9. Down 1 spot from the tied 6th spot of last week to a tied 7th now is the Ultimates. This was formerly known as Mango, so it's LJ, Chronic, and First Killer, coached by Sad Jr. They also have an average ranking of 7.75, 2 of us having them ranked at 8, that being Belleair and I, Mythalieon having them all the way up at 6, and Dolphin at 9. Now the undisputed 6th best team according to our list, this is Furia Esports with Yan, Drufinio, and Lost. I had them at 6 as well as Belleair. Mythalieon had them at 7, and Dolphin had them at 5, which gives us an average ranking of 6. Into our top 5, another team with no change from last week, the Ninjas in Pajamas. 3 of us still had them at number 5, those being the same 3 as last time, myself, Mythalieon, and Belleair. CaptainDolphin, however, moved them up 2 spots to be number 6. Number 4, maintaining their spot from last week, is NRG Esports. They have an average ranking of 3.5. 2 of us, that being myself and Belleair, had them at 4, while Mythalieon and CaptainDolphin had them up at 3. Number 3, also with no movement, is Team Falcons. They had an average ranking of 3.25, just barely getting 1 more vote than NRG. That 1 vote really probably came from myself, having them at number 2. Belleair had them at 3, while Mythalieon and Dolphin had them at 4. Falling out of the number 1 spot is Team Vitality. They have an average ranking of 2.25. Across the board, they were ranked second, except for myself, who had them at number 3. And our unanimous pick for number 1 in the world, up 1 spot from last week, is Carmine Corps. Yeah, I don't have much to say other than that. They're the undisputed best team in the world right now. This week for the rankings by associate, I've decided to include a little bit more of the math that takes us to these calculations. You can see everyone's rankings on this page, as well as the aggregate ranking that we came up with. The teams that received votes that were unranked were Deleted Gaming with 4 votes, Novus AV with 3 votes, Godfidence with 2 votes, and TSM with 1 vote. And that's all for this week's Friday video. Look out for tomorrow's, where I do a sit down with Captain Dolphin as each of us unveil the rankings to each other and react to how we view the top 20 teams in the world. Hopefully you all enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you guys next time.